Okay, good morning, everyone. So here we are in day 2. This is March 2nd of 2023. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. Because I think I fixed the issue with my microphone from yesterday, so I'm pleased to report I won't be having to use my phone and the computer at the same time. One thing I do want to announce, and I'll make a separate announcement on Teams as well. Some of you have messaged me asking about if you can reuse your previous year's, previous times group project score. I will allow that. So if you want to reuse your previous project score, it's same as, let me see, I can pull up that slide here. I changed this, actually I didn't change it on this slide. I changed it on the intro and syllabus slides that's available in the class materials folder. So just like with the quiz scores, I need to be notified no later than the 17th of March. So that would be 2 weeks from tomorrow. Okay, so if you want to use your previous score for either quizzes or for project, please let me know prior to the 17th of March so that I can go find your score from previous year, and then I will be able to use that. Okay, all right. So where we left off, and I think that's everything as far as updating announcements, as far as that's concerned. So where we left off was we were talking about kind of trying to look at something that we know to be a database, like IMDb is the example I use in these situations because it's got DB right there in the title. Something that we know to be a database, and trying to say, okay, what kinds of things does this database maintain? What type of information does it maintain? Oh, one thing I forgot. Wait a second. So some of you who've had me before, I'm going to try to reintroduce this. All right, the quote of the day. So Clifford Stoll tells us that data is not information, information is not knowledge, knowledge is not understanding, and understanding is not wisdom. A slightly more funny, comedic way I've heard this say is knowledge is knowing that a tomato is a fruit. Wisdom is knowing not to put it in a fruit salad. So just the idea that just because we know something, just because we know some piece of information or some piece of data, doesn't mean we necessarily understand it, does not necessarily mean that we have wisdom. So hopefully we are growing towards, hopefully I'm not just giving you data or giving you information as part of this course. Hopefully what I'm helping you get is understanding and ultimately wisdom, and how to use the technology and tools that you will be given. All right, so let's speak about understanding. How can we understand a database system? So talked about IMDb being our example. So let me see if I can find. Yeah. Here. All right, so let's pull it up here. So some of you have probably visited this before, because I think some of you have said you visited this before. That's a weird picture to show up there at the beginning. All right, so IMDb is a website that again, it stands for Internet Movie Database. So we're going to be keeping track of data related to movies and television shows. So just let's do this. Let's pull up an Excel spreadsheet, or let's see. Excel spreadsheet, and just kind of list out what we think some of the information that this website is going to keep track of. Okay. And I just mean categories. Like, I don't mean, when I say information that it's keeping track of, we're not saying things like The Mandalorian, right? Or what's a recent film Oh, my youngest son keeps talking about Raffalan Taifa, Galactic Taifa, that he went and saw that, and he keeps wanting to bring us to go see it. So not talking about like necessarily the information itself. I'm saying the categories of information. So like for an example, so The Mandalorian or Raffalan Taifa would be a title. So I'll just give you that one for free. Okay, so some information that we are going to keep track of is movie titles. Okay. What's some other types of things that we're going to keep track of here? This is your turn to participate.
Star Trek movies, all 10 of them.
Hold on, my volume is either very low or your microphone is low. Let's see. Hold on. Try saying that again. Oh, good. Lots of information. Okay. All right. All right. Good. Actor. Yeah. Like, is actors like? Is there going to be other like? What about? Let's see. Is it just the actors, or is there information about them that we're also going to be keeping track of? Like, let's see if I were to click on, let's take even that one. Let me find an actor. Wow, gotta get down to. Guess I'm gonna have to click on one of these to find an actor. Huh? Let's see. This is a movie from my childhood. Yes, I was alive back then. All right, so if we were to say, okay, let's click on that actor. Like, there's more than just information, just this actor, right? There's information about them, right? So that would be things like, what's information like their personal details, right? Like their height, their birth date, right? Their name, right? So even within the actor, you might have an actor name or actor birth date. Let's see, release date. Yep, so that'd be director. And but the same here, right? Director would have all that information too, right? Directory. Let's see, what else? Oh, length of the movie. Yeah, so like the runtime, right? Oh, Merritt, you gave a bunch here. Okay, type, like you mean, is type like, we listed genre, so what would be type then? Can you explain that one? Oh, so you mean like type, like is it a animation, yeah, animated film or a live action? Yeah. We might be able to say so. Yeah, I'm not sure what we would call that. So let's hold on to that one and see if that one comes up again. So score, right? Okay. Oh, types of okay, so is it a musical? Is it okay, I see what you're saying. So it's oh wow, so that's and that would that be a sub list of genre? Man, that's a tough one, isn't it? Okay, awards, yeah, any awards? Producer, yeah. Yeah, but you'd have this again, right? Let's see. Let's get to at least 20. Let's see if we can get to at least 20. there anybody? Is there anyone? I don't see. I don't see anything that you guys have said on the chat that I haven't listed out here yet. Oh, country. Yeah, where was it made? Yeah. Brief. So you mean like what's that called? There's a name for that. What is it? What is the name for that? Well, I guess this person has what we would call a bio, right? Oh, synopsis. Yes, Doan. Thank you. So synopsis. Bio. Yeah, of course. Yeah, it keeps track of trailers too, right? Composer for the music. Yeah, there's one summary, right? That would be the synopsis. So yeah. Let's see. There was one I was thinking of. Oh, yes. What language is it? That's a good one. Was one I was thinking of. One of you said something that duration, right? So that was runtime, right? So that's another word for runtime. And you guys are actually giving a really good set of using different words for the same thing. So like duration and runtime being the same, synopsis and brief explanation being the same. Oh, rating. I think, yeah. So rating, I'm assuming what you mean, Mariam, is like, what is it, 18 plus or 14 plus or 7 plus, that kind of thing, where it tells you whether or not it's appropriate for a certain age group, right? So we'll call that an age rating. Okay. One thing that I don't see us put here, and it may be that one of you, when you said type, you could have meant this, is even something like this, where you have movie or television show, right? And so, like, for example, here on here, let's see, let me find what's a good television show, right? Production company, right? Arjun, that's a good example. Let's see. What's a good television show that's out right now? I don't watch much TV. So what's a good television show right now? The Office. Yeah. All right. So that 2005. That's almost 20 years old. Wow. Right. So see, even IMDb, even though it stands for Internet Movie Database, it does still keep track of things like television, right? So movie or TV. Yeah. Yeah, you guys are seeing that once you start really thinking about what a system contains, there's a lot, right? Because I said, let's get to 20, and here we are, we're already up to 21. So you had reviews here. You're right, I don't have any. I don't have anything for a review. Goodness, typing. Reviews, streaming services, like what streaming services is it available on? Yeah. Wow. So okay. So we've put a bunch. All right. And I mean, we could keep going. We could keep going. We could spend the entire next hour talking about this and trying to analyze how many different data points, how many different categories and attributes this IMDb maintains. Okay, but so do you think that IMDb just kind of takes this and puts it all into one text file or into one database table? That would seem kind of difficult, right? Because what we're trying to do with the database, remember, is we're trying to reduce data redundancy. So, for example, we might have the same producer or the same actor might appear in multiple works. They might have the same actor could appear in a lot of different films and television, right? Especially when you start talking about like Marvel films, where you have the same actor can be in lots of different films, right? And so we don't want to have to store all that same information one time for every film that person appears in, right? So maybe what we should think about doing is probably trying to categorize some of our data information. So for example, we might say, okay, we're going to contain movie information, right? Okay, and movies are going to have particular information that we will, that we will store just for that movie, and just we'll have like a movie table basically. Okay, so for example, a movie might have a title. Right? A movie would have a release date. Let me do this. Let me just copy. And actually, once we take it from here, we could delete it. Okay, so what I'm going to do though is, instead of doing that, is I'm going to just copy this over here, and as we move it over to here, I'm going to delete it from this list. Okay, so we can there. Now the movie will have a runtime, a year, and a genre. It'll have a score, right? Oh, it'll have an award. Now, the reason why we aren't going to put necessarily actor, director, producer here under movie is because this information, we're not going to store necessarily that with the movie itself, because that producer, that director, that actor might appear in other works, and we don't want to have to store that same information again a second time, right? So what we'll do for stuff like this is we might have an actor list. Has a name and a birthday. We might have a director. Now, one thing that some of you might be looking at this list right now and saying, well, wait a second. Especially if you're thinking object-oriented style, especially if you're thinking, what's the word, like inheritance and abstract classes and all that stuff from your object-oriented programming days. I really hope you guys haven't forgotten that stuff. Because what you might say is, well, wait, Hojam, can't we just do this? Can't we just have a person that has a name and a birthday? No, we don't need all that there. So you try to be too smart sometimes. All right, and then each of these could be a subclass of those. Yep, we could do that. We absolutely could do that. Okay. So, which one of these is correct? Do you guys remember? Do you remember my answer to which one of these is the right way to do it? Yes. Thank you, Kershad. I'm glad someone remembers that. All right, yeah, it depends. Which way is better? Should we do subclasses and parent classes? Should we store them all in individual tables in this? And what we'll talk about tables in this. It's going to depend on how we design our system. Okay, but for today, I'm going to just leave it like that. Okay, country, that would be what? That would be where the country, a synopsis is going to go here, right? Where the movie was made and what the synopsis. Now, what's the bio? Bio is for a person, right? So we would actually want to put it in all three of these, right? Right, we would want to put it in all three of those. A trailer. Oh, a composer. A composer is another person, isn't it? All right. Language, age rating. what could be a Boolean value, but maybe an integer, right? Reviews and streaming service are all going to be, we can put them all right here. The only problem with this, the only problem is that what's the difference between a TV show and a movie? Like, does all of these go for both? Or is maybe one of those attributes only for movies, or is one of those attributes only for TV or something? You understand the question? Yeah, we could make it a Boolean value. That's not a problem, but the question I'm asking is something like that, and then falses would be TV. But okay, does a TV show have a title? Yeah. Does a TV show have a release date? Well, I mean, I guess we could say the first episode's date would be its release date. Okay. What about a runtime? Yeah, awards could be different. Could be different. Year. A movie has a single year. Does a TV show have a single year? Only 1 year? Right. Yeah, seasons do have a year. But what are seasons made up of? So what is TV made up of that movie isn't? Episodes, right? So that's what I was kind of thinking there. So really, you might have some of these same things might show up in a TV series, but episodes. So then we can actually remove this out of the way. So TV would also have episodes. We can, but then what you would maybe have is something like this then. So as we can see, episodes have a title too, don't they? Wow. Probably don't have all this though. Although episodes can have awards, I do know that. All right, so then runtime would be a particular episode. It also might have a synopsis. So you can see we get a really kind of, yeah, oh, episodes have their own scores. Oh, wow. Probably don't know. Do they have a trailer? I don't know. Language, maybe, I don't know. Reviews, probably so. Probably there's a review of the particular episode there. You know, streaming service could work too, because I do know that there are I do know that there are some seasons that will appear on like Netflix that might not appear on other services, or might appear on, well, actually Netflix is usually late, isn't it? So yeah. So wow, so that is a lot of information, isn't it? So, but notice that one of the things that we did was we kind of categorized these different information, right? Because there's no reason to keep the runtime of a movie information together with the actor that appeared in it, because the actor might appear in multiple movies, right? Same thing goes with the director and the producer and things like that, right? So one thing we're going to find out is that these different categories we're going to end up seeing those as similar to classes. We're going to see them as database tables. And then these different attributes, right? We're going to see them similar to attributes in classes. We're going to see them as what we'll call attributes, or it's on the slides. I can't remember the other name for it right now. So we're going to see those as attributes within the table, and we're going to see that these different classes or tables are going to have relationships with other classes. So for example, we will have, what do you guys remember from UML, right? The one-to-one relationship, the one-to-many relationship, many-to-many type relationship. So we're going to talk about that as well when we get into ER modeling. And we're going to see that, for example, a movie or a TV. So let's actually, movie will have a many-to-many relationship with an actor, right? So an actor can be in many movies. A movie can have many actors, right? And so we'll see how that works out, right? We might see that a movie has one primary director, right? There's only one director. One thing one of you guys mentioned the production company, right? So we'll say production, like Paramount or Universal or whatever. Okay, so this is a way that we can take a list of attributes that exist within a system that we look at, and we can say, how can we kind of categorize it out? Now, this doesn't mean that just looking at it and figuring these things out like this may not end up being what our system looks like at the end. But it is a starting point where we can kind of start trying to figure out how we can possibly look at what our database tables might be eventually. Okay, so let's see, let's come back to this. All right, so I will give a short, very simple homework assignment to start the semester off. Okay, I'm going to post this assignment in Teams with a due date and all that. You have it's very simple. It's not it shouldn't be too complex, but I do want you to look at a system that you interact with. Okay, some examples I could give you would be OBS, your local grocery store, Amazon, if you use that. Steam, I've not used that one, but yep, that would be one too. What you need to do though is you need to find a system that is sufficiently complex to be able to do this, but don't necessarily think that you have to go, analyze the Turkish government's taxation system or the yoke system or the what's another one, the health, what Segaka. You don't have to fully completely analyze it, but if you do take on one of those that's one of those larger systems, you can only look at the specific attributes. But I do want you to start with 40 data points, 40 attributes. Okay, you need to have at least 40 to start as the initial point, and then you will want to have at least 5 categories. Okay, so I will give more details in the homework description, right? But that's so because it's not fully making a database or anything like that, it'll be something like a week and a half that you'll have to do this in. Okay, let's see. Was there anything else related to that? Oh, and what you can do is you could turn in something like this. So you could, I will save this as an example and post it into the lecture, the class materials folder. And what, let me do this. So something like this, right? Font color, I can change that to white so that we can see it better. All right, so something like this. You could turn this in. I may, if I have time, also make up a Microsoft or Google Forms for you to fill out, like I've done, like I did during the pandemic when we had this. Okay. All right. So don't necessarily want to have to start up something new. Let's take the break a little bit early today. So I will go ahead and take the break now. And then we'll come back at 11:15 to start up on the next set of slides. Okay? I'll see you guys in 10 minutes.